Hello. So today we're going to alleviate my dead battery syndrome problem. Twice now I've come out and found my battery completely dead, and I actually had to buy a new battery a couple years ago, but it was probably due for one anyway. But I think if we keep it topped off from now on, it'll help the batteries last longer. And these batteries aren't cheap. They use a pretty big AGM battery. I do have a little bit of an edge, so whenever my starter battery does die, I can just flip my switch here. That is a battery disconnect to the house battery, so I can just flip that and always jump start myself really easily. But today I'm going to show you what I ordered, and then I'll go through how to install it in a Ram Promaster. Pretty similar to any other type vehicle, except for my battery is down here under the floorboard, and a lot of the vehicles are going to be underneath the hood. But you can still run the wiring for that, or I'll also talk to you about the cigarette lighter plug and how you could use that. Okay, let's check out what comes in the box here. Of course, private label, no name, nothing on the box, as these usually go. First things first, let's check out the solar panel. This is a 10 watt specified for 10 watts of output. And this is for 12 volts. You can charge pretty much any battery, except it's not going to do lithium because you need to actually put out a higher voltage to top off lithium batteries. Supposedly it says this is a microprocessor built in here, and there's some different stages of charging. I don't know about all that, but there will be some lights here that should light up when we get it plugged up to let us know if we are charging or not. Apparently this has a 72 or 74 or something inch cable here. SAE connector, that's one of the things that I wanted to get. So quick disconnect connect with that. And I'll show you the other main reason I bought this specific one is because it comes with a set of just the rings here. So this we can actually hardwire to the battery. Just keep these actually always bolted onto the battery, and then we have our other end here that we can just plug right in to this. So I'll be able to plug this in, toss this up in the windshield, charge, and then when we get back to the season where we want to drive again, just unplug it. This can remain still hooked to the battery, and I can just put this right here away somewhere. Unfortunately, it didn't come with any little cover for that, but it's not going to be really a problem if you put this someplace safe. You could stick some tape over that if you want, but for this to do anything, it would still have to actually touch the other connector inside of here. So not a big deal. It also comes with a cigarette lighter. Now, well, you might think this might be the way to go. It is nice and easy, but if your vehicle does not have a cigarette port that is always connected, because most all cigarette ports are switch activated, so which meaning when you have the ignition on or off in the car, that's when they're going to get power. In my van, which is a Ram Promaster, I haven't even checked that yet because I wasn't worried about it, but I know most of that stuff you'll also have to think about is that when now a lot of the newer vehicles, when you turn the vehicle off or hit the button, that outlet is going to still stay on for a little while, just like your radio might still stay on. So you want to make sure that if you are going to try and use your cigarette port, that the power actually does remain on even after that time has gone by, because otherwise this won't be able to put any charge through if it does disconnect after a while. Then you have your alligator clips, and if you wanted to quick connect to your battery, you could totally do that. If you don't want to use the rings, in the Promaster vans, you just pull that panel off and you could clip these alligator clips right on there and then plug it up to your panel. So easy enough if you don't want to deal with the rings or have that permanently on there. It does come with some suction cups for the panel. That would just make it stick to the windshield better. I don't think I'll need those. I think that this is just going to set up in front of the sunshade, probably on the window, but it does have a little bit of heft to it, so if there's a problem, maybe these would answer that, but I'm pretty sure that these are going to give way after a while, especially when they're sitting out in the sun all day long. But there's what we have. That's what comes in the box. Also, you have your little carabiners. I don't know what, I guess you could hang the solar panel or something, but it is also considered waterproof, so you could put the panel outside. I don't know why you'd want to, but some people like to do that. I mean, you could actually use this to, charge other things too, so it might be useful to you. But let's go and check it out and install it. Before I begin the installation here, I was going to show you the WeatherTech mat, because I know there's a lot of new people coming into this all the time, looking at options. And when I was looking at front floor mat options, I looked around a whole bunch too. This is the one I decided on. So, like I said, by WeatherTech, it offers really good protection and keeps everything from getting inside underneath. Because if you know anything about the Promaster, they have so many other little compartments and other things that all the sand and dirt just gets all up in there. And if you're in a nasty environment with snow and whatnot, it can be really bad. So it's a great fit. It only does cut off right in the middle there, so it doesn't go all the way back. I just never got around to really put anything in the middle there. Some people put something because there's a soft spot where you want to cover up. That's where the fuel pump is, or the fuel access down there to the tank. But some people will cover that up so you don't feel that when you're walking through. But anyway, there's the WeatherTech. If that helps any of you out when you're looking for these. This is one of those crazy camera angles that we'll try and do the best we can. So to get this panel out of here, you can use just a small flathead screwdriver. Even a nickel or a penny would probably suffice. I don't really ever turn the one up in the far right corner because it's a pain to get to. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's out of the way. Now we're going to pull this panel off here. There's a couple tabs right here. I believe that should release this thing if we're lucky. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's out of the way. Now we're going to get our rings here. And all of this right here is all going to be power. So you can see your positive coming out of here. I also have my line running out that's going to go to the house batteries in the back. That way I can flip that switch on the side and charge via the alternator. So what we want to do here is just hook on somewhere the positive and the negative. Let me get this ready to go, and then we'll continue from there. Alright, we're going to get back on the install here. We have Clint supervising, and I've got it ready here to go. What we're going to do is we are going to disconnect the negative here on the battery. On these, it's easy enough. You've got a lever here that you're just going to pull out, and then move that around left and right. Good deal. Move that down. Now we're going to hook up our positive. I am not an electrical wizard by any means, but pretty good with all mechanics and stuff on vehicles. So what I'm trying to say is, of course, do this at your own risk. Now, since this isn't going to pull any power, and it's only going to insert a little bit of power, I'm going to see how we can do on one of these right here. I know these are going to be connected all the time because they're actually connected to the main positive here. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect this to one of these studs that's already here. That way I don't have to try and wire this up in the fuse box or anywhere else, because we definitely just want it on all the time. And this is a sure bet that it will be connected all the time. I'm going to try and spin this around here so we can make an easy exit with the wire. Not exactly sure what side I want to pull this out on, but I'm thinking this left side here, because it's going to be the easiest to connect and disconnect and throw that solar panel up in there. Alright, so now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and actually pull this tin off here. Because again, I'm going to use what's already here. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's do an overview here of what I did so you can actually see. That other camera angle was not working when I have my big melon in there. So on the positive side, I just removed one of the nuts here off one of the studs that's already there. And then on the negative side, again, already a stud here, and there's a nut, and that is holding on your negative ground for the battery. So I went ahead and just took that nut off and put the negative there. So that's basically it. Super simple. You're gonna do the same thing on no matter what battery vehicle it is. You know, you're just gonna have your positive and your negative go in there. And so you can usually use the nuts that are already there. The cool thing about something like this Promaster, you've got this whole other setup here, power distribution kind of a setup. So easy enough to pull one of those off and put your rings right under there. All right, as you can see, your blue light means that there's sunlight. The green and blue means that you're charging. And if I put my ear up next to this, I can actually hear a little bit of a buzzing. So you know it works if it buzzes. Here's a look from the front. Easy, simple. Let's see if I can peek behind there and see if we're still getting a little bit of a charge. I don't think there's going to be a problem, of course. Let's see. Yep, green and blue. I can see them. So, yeah, you could just easily just toss that right back there and stick this back up. This is my third different shade that I've had for the front window, by the way. This is a Van Essentials. It's not heavily insulated, but it does have insulation in there. And it's not super rigid, but it's enough to stand up. I've had other ones that actually sagged just too much in the middle, and they wouldn't stay up even with your visors down. But this one's been pretty good. It folds up, as you can see, and I store it above in the high roof area, so no problem there. Next thing, let's see if we can button this up down here and get our cords to a point where I know they're not going to be interfering with anything. All right. Bottom panel's in, floor mat's in. This is where we ended up at, right up in the middle. This seems like the best spot. Now when I disconnect right here, I'll just have the other pigtail that comes from the battery, and it'll just stay right behind there. It's not going to go anywhere. And then you can stow your panel wherever you'd like. Another thing of note I was thinking about are the solar panels, and how on most solar panels you're told to leave some room behind them. So if you're in a hot climate like I am sometimes, so I'm going to just leave my sunshade back. And if you can put this in just vertically, then you only have to have maybe the side of your sunshade out. That will allow you to actually get some airflow in there. We don't want to burn out that NASA grade microprocessor too quick. I, as always, will put the links to the solar panel that I got in the description below. And I'll put a floor mat link in there if I can find those, and the sunshade as well. If you have any questions, please put those below, and I would be happy to help you out. And as always, thanks, cheers, goodbye from Clint and Annabelle, and we'll see you next time.